You know, there are moments in life when you just feel lost, like you're standing in the middle of a foggy road. And no matter which way you look, you can't see a clear path forward. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and at times it can feel downright hopeless. I know what that feels like. I've been there. I remember sitting alone, wondering why nothing seemed to work out, why I felt stuck while everyone else seemed to be moving forward. But I'm here to tell you something. You're not stuck. You're not lost. It just feels that way because you're looking at your current circumstances as if they define you, but they don't. Your current results are nothing more than a reflection of your past thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mind is the battlefield where victory is first claimed or forever lost. To develop unstoppable mental toughness, you must first anchor yourself with a definite purpose. You must know with burning clarity exactly what you want. Without a clear aim, your energy scatters, your spirit weakens, and your destiny slips into the hands of circumstance. Purpose sharpens you. Purpose fuels you. Purpose turns common men into conquerors. Self-discipline is the next weapon in your arsenal. Without it, you are a prisoner to your own weaknesses. The man who cannot command himself will never command anything worthwhile in life. Control your words, control your thoughts, control your actions. When you stand firm against your own emotions, no external enemy can defeat you. Discipline is not a punishment, it is the key to freedom. Persistence is the battering ram you must wield. Life will test you. Life will break you if you allow it. When you are knocked down, rise again and again and again. Every champion has felt the weight of defeat pressing down on his shoulders. But he who persists beyond exhaustion, beyond doubt, beyond ridicule, is the man who claims the crown.
You have to be prepared to take any and every opportunity that's presented to you. All right, nothing's just going to happen. You know, everybody say it's all on you. It is all on you. There's other people that can educate you and help you, but you take these different experiences that you learn that stick with you. I mean, you may not remember a whole lot when you were 4 years old, but there's certain memories, there's certain things. You can use them to either harness you to greatness or you can use them to kind of just keep you where you're at. And most people are just satisfied with at. There's always a next level. Your definition of greatness and what you want to achieve could be totally different than somebody else's. You know, we always say no one wants to be first, okay, because they're afraid of the consequences that come with doing something first. You know, we go to Michael Jordan. Everyone, when Michael Jordan took over the Charlotte team, okay, everyone says he's a failure. Well, how can you be a failure when you're the first professional athlete to own a majority of a franchise team? Can't be a failure. You're the first to do something. If you're the first to do something, you can't be listed as a failure. I wanted to be the first to do something, and that was to work with high-end professional athletes. We have tons of information available to us, okay? But the difficult part is we don't have a lot of individuals who have the ability to process information at a quick rate. The ones that can excel, and we call them cleaners in the book, they're so well prepared at their task, no matter what variable is thrown at them, what circumstance, they can adjust and they can get that end result.
You have the ability to change those results starting right now. You see, everything in your life, your relationships, your finances, your health, is a mirror of what's going on inside of you. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing themselves, and that's why they stay in the same place. It's like standing in front of a mirror, frowning and expecting the reflection to smile back at you. It doesn't work that way. Change starts from within. It starts with your thoughts. Your mind is an incredible tool, and most people are just scratching the surface of what it can do. When I first learned that my thoughts could literally shape my reality, I didn't believe it at first. I mean, how could thinking something different change the money in my bank account or the direction of my life? But then I decided to test it. I thought, what do I have to lose? So I started to think differently. I started to focus on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want. I started to imagine myself succeeding instead of failing. And you know what? Things started to change. Not overnight, but gradually, like a fog lifting to reveal the road ahead. It's not magic. It's a process. It's about choosing your thoughts deliberately instead of letting them run wild. Most people live on autopilot, thinking the same thoughts day in and day out, wondering why their life never changes. But when you become aware, when you stop and think about what you're thinking about, that's when you gain control. That's when you can steer your life in a new direction.
Quitting is never an option. You fight until you win. Faith is your invisible armor. Without unshakable belief in yourself, your talents rust and your dreams rot. You must believe when no one else believes. You must see the victory in your mind before it is ever seen with your eyes. Faith transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Faith fuels the fire when the world turns cold. Without it, you are already defeated. The power of decision must be seized. Weakness hides in hesitation. Strength breathes in decisive action. Choose your path swiftly and surely. Commit with every fiber of your being. Once the decision is made, let no whisper of doubt turn you aside. Indecision is death. Decision is life. Fear and doubt are parasites that feed on greatness. Evict them from your mind with ruthless aggression. Fear lies. Doubt deceives. They are not worthy of your attention. The mind ruled by fear is a slave mind, but the mind ruled by courage can bend the world to its will. Stand firm against the whispers of defeat. Move forward with the courage of a lion. Finally, condition your mind daily. Mental toughness is not a gift. It is forged through relentless practice. As a warrior sharpens his sword each morning, sharpen your mind. Read powerful words. Speak powerful thoughts. Act with powerful intent. If you feed your mind strength every day, weakness will find no home within you. Each day, carve your will deeper into your soul. You are called to be strong. You are destined to be victorious. You are built to endure, to conquer, to rise. Develop your mental toughness as if your life depends on it, because it does. Without a definite purpose, you are a ship lost at sea, drifting aimlessly with no harbor in sight. Definite purpose is the birthplace of all greatness. It is the foundation of mental toughness. It is the unbreakable core that all strength radiates from. A mind without a clear purpose is a mind easily broken, easily distracted, easily crushed by the storms of life. But a mind anchored to a definite purpose becomes immovable. It stands tall against winds, against tides, against anything the world can throw at it. The man who knows exactly what he wants and why he must have it is already halfway to victory.
We're trying so hard in our lives to fit in. We try to fit into certain groups, certain frats, certain sororities, among certain friends. Yet the people we idolize are the ones that stand out. But when you're prepared, there is no fear. There is no fear of failure, okay? Because even if you've walked out of something and you feel like you failed at it, your preparation is so strong that you're gonna take that failure and turn it into the outcome you desire. And most people stop at failure, okay? We've all failed at things. I'm gonna continue to fail at stuff, right? It's the most powerful tool you can use, but it all depends on how you use it. We talk about it in Relentless, okay? A scalpel, okay? In the hands of an individual, it can do unbelievable damage. In the hands of a professional, of a doctor, it saves lives. So it's the same thing with failure. It's how you use it. It's that drive inside of you, okay? It's what we talk about, the dark side. The dark side is filled with failure, but it's the fuel that burns you like something that's never burned inside you before. I'm never the first call. I'm the last call the person makes, okay? Because when you have to make this call, there's a problem, because that means they can't figure it out. Now it becomes my job to figure it out, and it's my job to deliver, because if I don't deliver, okay, not only will the last call not happen, that phone will not ring again, because I'm only as good as the last delivery that I've done. And that's how everybody needs to think. You can't talk about what you did 5 years ago. You can't talk about the deal that you closed last week. Okay? You can't talk about your sales for last month. Okay? Those things are expected of you. Don't expect to get a pat on back for doing your job. You're supposed to do your job. Okay? If you're getting rewarded just for showing up, imagine what that's going to do to you later in life. Now, when you do something extraordinary, it doesn't quite feel the same.
I remember reading Think and Grow Rich for the first time. That book changed everything for me, but it wasn't just the book. It was the understanding that came with it. The realization that if I could control my mind, I could control my destiny. And so can you. You might feel lost now, but feeling lost is just a signal that it's time to recalibrate, to reimagine what's possible for you. Your feelings aren't there to punish you. They're there to guide you. That feeling of being lost, it's nudging you to look within, to ask yourself what you really want, what you really believe about yourself. Because deep down, you know the answers. They might be buried under doubt, fear, or years of negative conditioning, but they're there. And it's okay if you don't have it all figured out right now. Life isn't about having every step planned out. It's about taking the next right step, trusting that the path will unfold as you move forward. Most people wait until they feel ready, but I'll tell you something, you're never going to feel completely ready. There's always going to be fear, always going to be uncertainty. But the people who move forward, the ones who succeed, are the ones who act in spite of that fear. They trust in the process in themselves even when things seem unclear. You have to develop that trust. Not in the external world, not in your circumstances, but in your ability to figure things out. Because you can. You've overcome things before, you've faced challenges and come out stronger on the other side. This is no different. It might feel heavier right now, but that's just because you're on the brink of a breakthrough. Sometimes things have to fall apart a little before they come together. It's like shaking up a snow globe. It looks like chaos at first, but give it a moment and everything settles into place. Your life is no different. Most people underestimate the power of small decisions, the little choices made in quiet moments when no one's watching. That's where the real change happens. It's in deciding to get up when you don't feel like it, to believe in yourself when everything around you seems to contradict that belief. It's easy to let the outside world dictate how you feel, to let circumstances control your emotions. But when you start to flip that around, when you decide how you want to feel and carry that into your circumstances, that's when things begin to shift. You've got to be bigger than your environment. You've got to stop letting what's happening outside of you control what's happening inside of you. I know it's tempting to look at your bank account, your job, your relationships, and let those things determine your worth or your potential. But those are just current results, and results can change. They will change when you change the cause, and the cause is always your thinking. I remember a time when everything in my life seemed to be going wrong. Nothing made sense, and I kept asking, why me? But one day, I asked a different question. What is this trying to teach me?
Purpose sharpens the senses, fuels the spirit, and hardens the will. It pushes you forward when your body begs to quit. It drives you through the nights when everyone else sleeps. When you live by purpose, you do not wait for permission, you do not seek approval, and you do not flinch in the face of obstacles. Purpose gives you vision. Purpose gives you power. Purpose gives you a reason to wake up swinging every day. Self-discipline follows naturally from purpose. It is the inner fire that keeps you on the battlefield long after weaker souls have fled. A man with discipline is a man who has learned the greatest art of all, the mastery of self. You must command yourself. You must stand guard at the gates of your mind and allow no weakness to enter. When your emotions roar, you must respond with control. When laziness whispers, you must answer with action. When comfort tempts you, you must reply with courage. Discipline is not forged in moments of ease. It is born in moments when quitting looks so easy, yet you choose to endure. It is crafted when you resist the lure of distraction and focus all your might on the mission at hand. The world bows to the man who bows to no excuses. Persistence is the iron hammer that smashes down all walls standing between you and your destiny. No man has ever tasted true victory without tasting bitter defeat first. The world will hit you. It will bruise you. It will batter your soul and laugh at your dreams. But the man who gets back up every single time cannot be defeated. Persistence means moving forward when your legs feel broken. It means believing when your mind screams doubt. It means taking another step and another until the obstacle surrenders out of sheer exhaustion. Success is not reserved for the most talented. It is reserved for the most relentless. Faith is the unseen force that builds bridges where others see chasms. It is the engine that roars within when the outside world falls silent. Without faith, you are at the mercy of the opinions of cowards. With faith, you become a force too powerful to be denied. Faith is not hope. Faith is certainty. It is standing in front of the mountain and knowing, not guessing, that you will move it. It is looking in the mirror and seeing a champion staring back, even when your surroundings tell a different story. Faith fuels risk. Faith births action. Faith is the soil in which unstoppable mental toughness grows. The power of decision is the sword you must learn to wield with precision and speed. A man who cannot decide swiftly is a man doomed to live a life dictated by others.
You can't know how to deal with success. You can't know how to deal with failures. You can't know how to deal with the bumps in the road that if you haven't had a taste of everything. Okay? And once you remember that bitter taste in your mouth, you never want to feel that again. We're in physical pain, but when I blew my knee out, all right, that was actually the start, unknowingly, of my career as, I don't like to consider myself, here's the other words, I don't like to consider myself as a trainer, okay? I'm not a trainer, okay? Quest is not just a bar, okay? Right? There's a lot of people that are just a something. There's very few people that are the something, okay? So when people introduce myself as a trainer, I'm like, no, I'm not a trainer, I'm the trainer. It's a huge difference, okay? That was my path into becoming the trainer. It probably is the worst thing that can happen to an athlete. It's the best thing that happened to me from a developmental standpoint, because now it forced me to study the body like no one had ever studied it before, to feel the pain and discomfort that an athlete who blows out his knee, who blows out his shoulder, now I know what they have to deal with, not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. Now I knew what was going on up in here, so I could push them beyond the barriers, okay?
So what is happening in the mind?
It starts to scatter. You know, you got neuron patterns flying all over the place. You know, we talk about, the way I try to bring it down is, everyone talks about when they're doing something, when they're nervous or something, oh, I get butterflies. I get butterflies in my stomach, okay? And it happens to everybody, okay? Well, guess what? If you get the butterflies all moving in the same direction, you've won the battle. So now from a mental standpoint, if I can get all the thoughts moving in towards one direction, instead of feeling sorry for myself, instead of putting the blame on other individuals, instead of feeling guilty, those are all emotions, okay? And emotions make you weak, okay? I'm already in a weakened state. I don't need to be weaker. Kobe Bryant blew out his Achilles, okay? Every other individual, they would carry off the floor, okay? He went up, shot 2 free throws, made them both, walked himself off the court. Okay?
That's pretty impressive.
The process of the rehabilitation started the moment he got up. If he would have had somebody carry him off the court, if he would have not shot those free throws, he lost that battle.
And that question changed everything. Life isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Every challenge, every setback is a lesson, a stepping stone if you choose to see it that way. Most people get stuck because they keep reliving the same stories, the same limiting beliefs. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough, or it's too late for me. and those thoughts become their reality. But those are just stories. They're not facts. And just like you learned those stories, you can unlearn them. You can replace them with new ones, stories of possibility, of strength, of resilience. Imagine what would happen if you started telling yourself, "I've got this," even when you don't fully believe it yet. The belief comes after the action, not before. You don't wait to feel confident to act. You act, and that action breeds confidence. You have more power than you realize. You've got this incredible mind, capable of creating ideas that can transform your entire life. But most people never tap into that power because they're too busy focusing on what's missing, on what's wrong. What if you shifted your focus? What if instead of thinking about what you don't have, you started focusing on what you do have? Gratitude isn't just some fluffy concept. It's a powerful tool that can rewire your brain, shift your energy, and open doors you never thought possible. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you raise your vibration. And when you're in a higher vibration, you attract better things into your life. It's not just theory, it's how the universe works. Like attracts like. If you walk around feeling defeated, you'll attract more reasons to feel that way. But if you start to embody hope, even just a little, you'll begin to notice things shifting. People show up, opportunities arise, life responds to your energy. I know it can be hard to believe when you're in the thick of it, when things seem dark and you're just trying to keep your head above water. But sometimes all you need is a tiny shift, a new perspective, a new thought. You don't have to solve everything today. You just need to take one small step. Maybe that step is choosing to believe that things can get better. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who uplifts you. Or maybe it's just sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and reminding yourself that you're still here, still standing, and that counts for something.
Every great achievement begins with one powerful decision made without hesitation and held without apology. Weakness festers in delay. Doubt multiplies in the absence of decision. Decide who you are, decide what you want, decide how you will achieve it, then burn the ships behind you. Give yourself no choice but to march forward. Indecision kills dreams. Decision breathes life into them. Fear and doubt are parasites that must be slaughtered without mercy. Fear robs you of action. Doubt strips you of power. They exist only to paralyze you, to cage you in mediocrity. Understand that fear is a liar. Doubt is a thief. They create illusions of defeat where none exist. When fear whispers you are not enough, shout back with the voice of purpose and persistence. When doubt creeps in to steal your faith, crush it beneath the boot of belief. Mental toughness is not the absence of fear, it is mastery over fear. It is standing tall while the weak kneel. It is charging forward when your heart pounds and your palms sweat. It is moving through the fire and daring the flames to stop you. Daily conditioning is the relentless sharpening of your mind into a weapon of pure power. The mind is like a sword. Left unsharpened, it dulls and rusts. Left unattended, it becomes fragile and weak. Every day you must feed your mind with strength, with clarity, with victory. Read words that ignite your spirit. Speak words that forge your character. Surround yourself with forces that fuel your fire. Train your thoughts to align with your vision. No wasted moments. No poisoned conversations, no surrender to weakness. Each morning, recommit to your purpose. Each night, strengthen your discipline. The mind hardened daily against doubt, against fear, against compromise becomes an unstoppable force. You were not born to cower, you were born to conquer. The fire you seek is already within you, waiting to be unleashed through purpose, through discipline, through unrelenting persistence. Build yourself into the kind of warrior who is unmoved by storms, unshaken by failure, untouched by fear. Become the master of your fate by first becoming the master of your mind. Without mastery of self-discipline, all talent, all ambition, all dreams collapse under the weight of weakness. Self-discipline is the steel spine that separates the conqueror from the conquered. It is the invisible hand that forces you forward when comfort and fear try to pull you back. Without it, you are nothing more than a slave to your impulses, a puppet controlled by fleeting emotions, a prisoner in a cage you built with your own laziness. Discipline is not a suggestion. It is the law. It is the line between the life you want and the life you settle for. If you cannot command yourself to act when you do not feel like it, to move when every fiber of your body screams to stop, you will never claim greatness. True discipline means doing what must be done, exactly when it must be done, whether you want to or not, and doing it with full force, without complaint, without hesitation, without excuse. Mastery of self-discipline is forged in the unseen moments. It is created in the silent decisions no one applauds, no one witnesses, but that shape everything you are becoming.